Hey there, I'm Ken. This is Canadian Retro Things. Welcome. So the other day, I was given an amazing gift by another YouTuber. If you watch my channel, then you know that I'm not just into loving retro computers. I also love retro books, retro magazines, and other retro things. Often with a retro computer theme, but not just the computers. So while I was on my travels, I stopped in to have coffee with another YouTuber the other day, Robin from 8-Bit Show and Tell. If you have not checked out his channel before and you really want to get deep dives into some Commodore programming as well as some programming on other platforms, then that is a channel you should definitely check out. So we were having coffee and he brought along with him some doubles of a few magazines that he had, and well, long story short, I am now the proud owner of those magazines, so let's take a look at what I got. What goodies did I get from Robin? Well, I got this. A big box of Commodore magazines. Now, I only very recently got my first Commodore computer, so I have never owned any Commodore magazines. I mean, the first Commodore computer I got was back in February of 2021. The video is available here and down there. So come a little closer and take a look at this absolute treasure chest of retro goodness. Included within this big box of magazines, there are 5 different magazines. There is Commodore Power Play, Commodore Microcomputers, Commodore Magazine, Compute's Gazette, and Ahoy. Now, it is going to take me a long time to go through all of these magazines, but I have gone through a few of them already. So I want to show you a few examples of why I love these old magazines and why, if you're into retro computers and retro things, you should love these old magazines too. The first thing that I'm going to look at in these magazines is something that is very near and dear to my heart. For those of you that actually follow my channel, you'll know about Coco Talk. For those of you that don't follow my channel, Coco Talk is a weekly broadcast that I do on another channel where we talk about the Tandy Color computer. And on that broadcast, I am in charge of the Game On Challenge of the Week, which is finding a game every week for us to play, and we do a little bit of a high score submission. It's all in good fun. It's all on the Tandy Color computer. So I use a lot of Tandy magazines for looking at that. So one of the things that is very near and dear to my heart is, of course, the advertisements that are in these magazines. I mean, you look at just something like this really makes you want to play the game. I mean, I did have Pool of Radiance. When I was younger, I had it on the Apple computer, and yeah, it was a great game, and if I hadn't played it before, I would see this ad, and I would definitely want to buy this game because it looks awesome. Another thing that I use in these magazines is, of course, the game reviews. So you can read these reviews of the games and find out whether you really want to play them or not. If you want to go through and try finding that game, because of course nowadays with the cost of all this retro stuff, finding old discs and old cartridges, if you are a collector of the original media, is very expensive. So you kind of want to look for the games that are really interesting and really games that you want to play, and these reviews definitely help with that. Another reason that I love these old magazines is the ads that are in there for hardware, software, programs, mostly the hardware side of it. It's a beautiful snapshot in time just to see what was available for the computers, how much they cost. If you're doing a video on something, it's invaluable to be able to look and say, okay, 1541 disk drive was $189 from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, back when this magazine was published. It's a beautiful snapshot in time. And then once in a while, when you're going through these magazines, you can find something completely amazing. Something like this, the body link. I had never heard of this before. I mean, I am fairly new at the Commodore, but I mean, this is a full workout system that you hook up to your Commodore 64. I've never seen a video about one. I've never heard of them. And of course, looking at the fashion from the 80s, always fun. But I mean, you look at this. The Body Link converts your Commodore 64 or 128 into a health and fitness system. And of course, another thing that I love about these magazines is the type-in programs. Because I've always found this is one of the best ways to learn how to program on these computers, is just jump right in, start typing in these programs, see what they do, and then play around with them, change them, see what it does. Then you can really figure out a lot of the programming. And of course, this in conjunction with reading the manuals and everything else. But I've always loved typing in the type-in programs out of these magazines. As a matter of fact, why don't we type in something on the Commodore 64 right now? Alright, got my C64 hooked up. Time to quickly type in that program just to, see what taps sounds like on the C64. Alright, there we go. We have got the program all typed in all of its glory. You'll notice that on line 130, it's a little different from the program listing because I broke it up into 3 lines because I don't know why, I just kept making a mistake on that one, so I broke it into separate parts to make it easier for myself to type in. It was just messing with my head. But here it is, ready to go, so why not see what it sounds like to play taps on the C64. Now I can mess around with this program and, really mess up the song. Another great thing here is that it isn't all about the C64. There are also programs and articles and other things in here about the VIC-20 here. A nice short little program that, just to show the VIC-20 a little bit of love, I guess we're going to be typing this one in and try it out. And I have also come across Commodore 128 programs, which I don't own, but maybe someday. And then I'll be able to type those Commodore 128 programs in. Alright, it's time to type in this program on the VIC-20. And we have to turn Shift Lock off. There we go. Quick little program typed in that is supposed to be sawing wood sound effect. So let's run this and see what it sounds like. Syntax error in 2. Ah. Now, let's try running it again. Press Shift. There we go. Well, that is the program. Doesn't quite sound like it is when I'm cutting up wood here with the chainsaw, but it'll do. That is a gold mine of magazines, and it is going to be great to be able to use those for doing research for videos. You can always use PDFs on computers, but I just love having the actual magazines. It's so much nicer. And you can also just read them for fun, which is what I am going to be doing right now. I really love reading the game reviews and stuff in those because, yeah, that is one of the things I'm the most interested in, but I also love the technical articles and just their snapshots of history. So again, a huge thank you to Robin for letting me have those. It is so generous. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is going to take me a while to read all of those, but it is going to be a great time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what you can do with the liking, the subscribing, and the commenting below, because anything and everything you do is always greatly appreciated. But it's sunny. I have a nice little fire going. I think I'm going to go grab a magazine and just sit back and relax. See you next time.